Hey there, world. This is Kimberly and Connor Tracy tuning in from Big Red SEO over here in our wonderful area of Omaha, Nebraska. If you guys are local, be sure to put a comment below if you're enjoying the cloudy, fallish, nice, cool weather. We, I think for the past 2 days, have had the windows open. It's very nice having the breeze and just really good Nebraska storms, if that makes sense. Midwest storms, I should say, not necessarily just Nebraska. But hey, thanks so much for tuning in, whether it's live or it's replay.
Feel very rushed right now.
Yeah,
sorry, guys.
He's trying to get his technology down straight. We moved some stuff around. We'll take a behind the scenes of what we're actually looking at here when we're done. I don't know.
Let us know if the echo has been reduced. So that's one of the things that we've received from a couple of different people was that there is an echo in the background.
The ting-ting.
So we've changed a couple of things, and I don't know, when you're talking right now, it sounds a little dampened. Do you notice that at all in your ears?
Well, I'm kind of a loud person anyway, so it's like one of those things of, he's like, honey, I need you to be you, but just don't be so loud.
Yep.
Right?
Just drop it down just a little bit. But
so,
anyways.
hey, if you're tuning in, go ahead and comment below. Let us know where you're tuning in from specifically. Guys, really quickly, we just want to say thank you for following us or watching us live or the replay. Thank you also for being very patient while we roll out a new agenda structure. It is helping my human law of order get fed and thriving. The Facebook watch party is an interesting thing, right? So eventually we'll do some tidbits and kind of give you guys some feedback of some of the bumps in the roads that we've faced while trying to organize all this stuff, right? But today we're actually diving into the new agenda, which is we're going to share with you guys some verbal things that happened with a site audit that we went through. As you guys know, pretty much all, maybe they don't know, pretty much all the communications we have with whether it's business owners or marketing individuals, we always start from the audit standpoint. And the main reason for this is, yeah, we can sell a package and we can attempt to throw and get some results, right? One, we both like looking behind the scenes and on surface. And then it helps us actually create a legitimate strategy, whether somebody decides to hire us to do it, whether they actually hire us to teach them how to do specific things, right?
Right. And
or if for whatever reason, they're just not in the space where they can actually invest money per se, but they can invest time and they can do it themselves, right? So we actually wind up stepping forward and giving quite a lot of information out there, just because as business owners, marketing individuals, you don't know what you don't know, right? So with that, real quick, since this is week 3 agenda, and it is a website audit review.
And it's the end of the month. And
it's Friday.
And I got one more.
What?
Today is Google's 21st birthday.
Wow, that's kind of crazy. So if you're with us, Connor is actually enjoying himself a little bit.
It looks a very watered down whiskey, but no, it's just a very light whiskey. So happy birthday, Google.
I know.
21.
Happy birthday, Google. Happy Starbucks. I'm not getting paid for putting the Starbucks in here, but I love Pike's Place. It's one of my favorite coffees. Honestly, I love lots of coffee, but
you should go there.
It's what, Pike's Place?
Yeah.
Is there a Pike's Place
in Seattle.
Pike's Place? Oh, in Seattle. Oh, yeah. Starbucks in Seattle. In Parks Place.
Pike's.
Oh, see, I switched it. to Parks Place. I went to Monopoly, guys, which is not allowed in the Tracy household, by the way.
Please educate Kim.
Let me tell you a really quick sidebar squirrel moment, guys, because this agenda is going to be more of a casual chit-chat talk, right?
Yep.
So, Squirrel, if you've not seen it before in a different episode, we are not allowed to play Monopoly in the Tracy household. And when I say we, it's this guy. Because here's what he does, since he's the strategist, and he's the behind the scenes, when he plays Monopoly, his goal is to get the 4 blue corners. Do you know the name? Parks Place is one of them.
I actually don't go after the most expensive properties.
Okay, so hold on. Let me actually say from an end user what it feels like Connor does. because he's about to hijack his whole strategy. So it feels like what he does is he goes after the 4 squares on the corner, which pretty much when you play Monopoly, you're gonna land on those. The highest dollar things you're gonna land on. So he swoops those up, and then all of a sudden he's scattered somewhere in his brain, which I just found out what the agenda is. So maybe we do need to play now that I know. He goes and he gets all these other things. And then I shit you not, guys, like we will be, I don't even know time frame wise, I'm out of money. And then he gives me the Irish baby blue eyes with a little grin. And he says, do you need a loan?
Here's the thing. The goal is for a player to be out of money within 3 turns around the board. You can beat the entire game in 2 turns.
Guys.
And just for the record, there is nothing in the rules of Monopoly that say you have to make 1 full turn around the board before buying houses or buying property.
Really quickly, though, from the end user perspective that has played against him, I think less than 3 times. Right?
Usually ends up in a, well, fuck this, I'm out of here.
Usually ends up in, I think the first time I played him, we were dating. We weren't even engaged. So we did these in different stages. We played dating and then we played engaged. Not that that would have made a difference. I think my whole thing was, well, he loves me. So he's not going to do the same thing again, is he? Yeah. But here's what he does, guys. As soon as I ran out of money, he'd lean in with those baby blues and he's like, do you need a loan?
It's expensive.
And I would say, well, it is date night. I wish to continue playing. Can I have a loan? And then before you know it, I've lost all my money. He has all the spots and he's dominated the thing. This is the reason why he's a really good strategist, though, right, guys?
So we'll break down just real briefly the strategy behind Monopoly. Number 1, the goal is to win by all means possible, right? Yeah. So win by all means possible. You have a higher chance of rolling. I don't know if
that's actually the reason to play Monopoly.
Sure it is.
I think it's the cool pieces.
When you're rolling a dice, the 3, 4, and 5 are the common numbers that'll show up first. Yeah. Or show up on a regular basis. It's very rare to show up with a 2, very rare to show up with the higher numbers. Yeah. Okay. So those ones are the ones you need to grab, which means that when you're rolling on a dice or when you're buying properties, everybody gets that community chance card, which says go immediately to go, which means you better own the properties at the 3rd, 4th, and 5th spot. Yeah. And if you do, you can win the entire game. There you go.
I personally thrive and enjoy going to jail because I don't have to play him anymore. But okay, back to our site audit. Okay.
So just like a site audit, it's all strategy. Everything
that's
about
the thing, right? Though, guys, is like the thing is that at the end of the day, marketing is not a set it and forget it. And oh gosh, I'm going to take you to church just for a second because this just like really irks me sometimes. And I get it, right? I get everybody needs to do marketing, but some marketing is going to work for your industry, your business. Other marketing might not work for your industry and your business, right? It's important for you to like test, but then also I'm just a huge person that like taps into intuition and energy. And it's like, would this work? Yes or no? Now there's a difference of the ego saying no, just because you're cocky and you're like, no, I didn't do that. Or no, I tried that. Like we did our episode not that long ago on Google Ads and people like either love them or hate them. The people that hate them have tried it once. They didn't really know what they were doing. They spent a lot of money or we've had a couple friends reach out that put their credit card on file and then just let it roll and then $5 to $7 grand later and then like that's going to cause an area where they're not happy and it doesn't feel good because they forgot.
Monitoring the bank account and then calling after 2-3 months, hey, why did I spend $5 grand in ads? We're like, I don't know. I wasn't managing them. I have no idea why you spent that. And it turned out they increased the budget on their own and they forgot.
Yeah, and they forgot. And they did narrow themselves down just to the location they were at. It was all US, so there are a lot of different things. But today we actually wanted to share with you a site audit. So we actually had a local company come to us. It was a couple weeks back, and they're seeking to get more conversions and leads for their business. Their business is a very niched industry, a very niche scenario. We're not going to tell you exactly what their business is. We're going to kind of like walk around the areas because one, we didn't say, hey, will you sign a waiver and let us talk about your website?
Not that I honestly don't think you need that.
Yeah,
but at the same
you
time,
just don't know, right?
Yeah, I don't want to oust somebody in how they've done something wrong.
Yeah, that's Connor's cue for all of y'all that he's going to dig in really deep and hard and he's going to rip it apart.
Yeah, if you want an audit done, I'm happy to do an audit and I'm happy to discuss it online. But be aware that it's not all roses. It's the gritty stuff.
So the thing is with the request for the audit, they were coming to us. They had little to no rankings, and they were looking for conversions. And the question was, I have a website. Why am I not converting clients? I have a website. Why am I not getting leads, right? This is a very common question that comes around because, as a business, you want people to come to your website, and you assume, a lot of business owners, I should say, assume they have a website, they're going to get traffic. They have a website, they're going to get leads and conversions. The thing is there's somewhere in between there, you actually have to do multiple different stuff, right? Mm-hmm. So in a specific site audit, there was 3 pages. There was their home page, their about page, and their contact page. There is nothing wrong with a small website. In theory, we actually recommend less pages than more pages. One, because it removes like customer fatigue. However, again, if you're a niched business or you're in a specific industry, more pages offers more information so people can make a decision. And if you do it correctly, they can actually see through your copy what it's going to be to work with you, if that makes sense, right?
Now, you can keep your navigation just to
My
the 3
nose
pages.
started itching. I must be on cue.
So keep your navigation to the just 3 pages. But let's say you're talking about the about or the information page, for example, and in there you're talking about specific things that you do. You can link the text or images in that to other pages that are not in your navigation, but users can get to if they need to.
Correct.
It also allows Google to send a user directly to that page. And that's what we're talking about in this situation.
Right.
They only had 3 pages and not, let's say, 5 or 10 pages. Yeah. I'm not saying you have to have 100 pages or our website. I think we're near 500 pages. We're actually trimming that down.
It's not, and so really quickly, just to say, the 500 pages in our website also includes blog articles.
They're blog posts.
So it's like, I don't want somebody to think that, we wrote $500 worth, or $500 pages worth of content.
Right.
No, guys,
it included blog posts and stuff.
Yeah.
And I treat all of those as a page or a landing point from Google's perspective.
Yeah.
So
okay, so within this, like we land on the website, and how our internal process works is typically an online request comes in, I get it first or Connor gets it first. So it's whoever's at our desk at the same time. One thing that we are really, really good at is we return calls, we return emails, and we actually get into communication pretty quickly and pretty fast. If you're running a business, we cannot tell you how important that is because a lot of times people, they're looking for information and either they want the answers or they want to make a decision right then and right there. It's natural human nature that when you want to go find something, you want to have that desire fulfilled, right? Mm-hmm. So I happened to get this inside my inbox first. And whenever I loaded the website, I was like, oh, that's kind of a fascinating logo, a fascinating company name. Again, we're not going to say what it is. It was within the realm of their industry, but it didn't really make sense. I was like, oh, what is this thing? What is this business? And I'm telling you, as a person that goes to a lot of websites, that's not a first reaction you actually want from somebody. If somebody that builds websites and does copy and helps people with strategy looks at it and is like, what does that logo mean?
Right. What does the logo mean? What is the first image that you see? What does that mean? And when you were, I'll let you keep going. Go ahead. Sorry.
So within this whole thing, like I see the top header, right? And then all of a sudden there's this image and it's a huge image. And it doesn't really have anything to do with the website. So the easiest way I can explain this is they offer a service and it's a specific niche service. It's a service that can help parents feel at peace. It's a service that can actually just provide clarity in certain spots, right? And then there was this image that had to do with nature. Now, Connor, before this video, said, in an abstract kind of way, right? Again.
Yeah. Here's the thing. If it's marketing, it's point blank. This is what it is. This is what the message is that you're trying to get across. In this particular instance, it was a giant picture of trees, a forest, and the message behind it, now there were no words on it to tell you. That's a different issue. There was nothing there to encourage you as to what it is about. But the idea behind it was they help you find things, not getting lost in the forest. So it was very much an interpretive website, kind of like interpretive dance. I don't understand interpretive dance.
You don't understand techno.
I like some of my techno stuff, but for the most part, the message wasn't clear. And the thing is that first section of the page, before you start scrolling, it's what we call the above the fold is what it's called.
It is like prime real estate, guys.
I have to know exactly what you do within the 5 seconds before I even start scrolling. So in a lot of ways, think of your website, that first header, that first above the fold section is a billboard on the highway.
It is.
You see 7 or 8 of them just fly right past you and you might catch a glimpse. But if there are 40 words on the billboard, you'll never read them.
And taking the billboard example for a spin, right? So like the reason why having a clear message of what you offer above the fold is, have you ever noticed that whenever you're driving down the street and you see billboard ads, you probably don't see them, but if you stop at a light or traffic's at a halt and then all of a sudden you look over, you look at it, right? So the importance of having messages along with your images, like it's almost like the stoplight that's going to force somebody to stop and be able to read. Of course, it has to be visually appealing and not super overwhelming, right? But scrolling through this entire thing within like the first 3 seconds, I've seen the logo, I've taken a tour of the top menu navigation, I look at the first main intro area, and then whenever I go into the paragraph below, I'm still confused with how this content is actually written. I'm like, what is the thing? Now, granted, I'm not a parent, right? So I'm like, well, maybe it's because I'm not a parent. I don't know, right? Maybe somebody knows something that I don't know, right? But being on the end of the other spectrum of they're trying to attract their ideal client, it's very confusing of what is this service that happens. And the reason why we're bringing this to you guys is that on the homepage, on any page, but on the homepage specific, you have to be very crystal clear of what are you doing? Who's it going to help? What do they need to purchase? What's the next step that they need to take? Why should they buy from you, right? When should they buy? So like say you're a seasonal business or say that you're selling a product that would be great for like a birthday gift or a Christmas gift or holiday gift. Say that you're in a trades industry, right? And it's about winter. You don't want to write about on your homepage, you don't want the content to be written about all 4 seasons. Yeah, that's the easy way to do it. If you want to take it to the next level, write the content based on the season that you're in. So that way people know that you're updating your site, right? In addition to it, you actually will rank higher in the search engines, a little behind the scenes, guys, because you're relevant to the seasons, right? You're relevant to what's going on in the world right now. What are people needing and wanting versus saying, this is my business and these are all the 8 services that I offer year round, no matter what. Oh, and by the way, buy from me, anybody and everybody.
Right.
Makes sense?
Yeah. Everybody is not your client.
Everybody is not your client, unfortunately.
It's the way it works.
Fortunately, it's actually a good thing.
So the big thing that we noticed, so Kim, of course, did the visual aspect of the website. I briefly touched on that, but I then dug into the back end of the website, the actual structure.
Yeah.
And a couple of things on the back end. There was no H1 tag, and an H1 is your big heading.
Yep.
And it's the most important piece of text that Google uses to understand what that page is about. So if you don't use an H1 and you don't have your keyword or the focus target as to what you're going after,
or the city,
then that creates an issue.
That was my version of a microphone, guys. Like, this looks really naughty. So I was like trying to do this, but I did it anyway, even though it looked naughty. Anyway, so yeah.
So the H1 is very important. There's other tags on the page, the H2s and H3s, and they need to go in there too. But the structure end of things, it wasn't configured so that Google could find it.
Correct.
In this particular website, that was their main stuff. They didn't have, I don't think they had a phone number.
That one I cannot confirm. I don't remember, frankly and honestly. I really don't remember, and that's not a good thing either. I know in the top navigation, I don't think that they actually did have a phone number. Right. A phone number is a big deal for me because I want to click and call. So like sometimes I'll want to read. Yeah,
the phone number is a big deal if it's a pain solution situation.
Yeah. So explain that. So in case somebody doesn't know, which I hope. Hey guys, thanks for tuning in. I hope this is beneficial. We kind of went rogue with the new structure, but we're sticking with it. So if it's helpful, let us know below.
Right. So the pain solution, it's a style of marketing that if you have, I'll deal with the chiropractor, for example. So if you have a back pain, then they provide the solution for that. Yeah. And all their marketing, all their talk is about the solution of that particular pain.
Correct.
If you think of like a plumber, for example, toilet overflowing, that's the pain. And the solution is they have plumbers on standby that'll be at your house within 30 minutes.
Yes.
That's the solution, okay? Locksmiths getting locked out of your car, that's a pain solution.
Nose itched again.
Yeah. Might be getting a phone call.
Say we just had him come yesterday. The crew that picks up our dog poop. They're pretty cool people. They leave our dogs treats. But they're now, if they would leave our humans treats, that would be even better.
So with those guys, they're not exactly a pain solution company.
Yeah, right? I feel like they are though. The pain is I don't want to pick up the dogs. Here's how. Side. Take a swig. Take a drink. Here's how it's
Connor,
a pain.
Shut up for a second.
Here's how it's a pain and a solution. I don't want to pick up the dog poo poo. Connor is not going to pick up the dog poo-poo because Connor has a gag reflex. So that, in my brain, is a pain solution.
Right. But what I mean by it is that if you sent them an email or sent them a contact form and they contacted you the next day, it's not as critical as my toilet is overflowing and I need a solution now.
Correct.
Those people need a phone number.
Yeah.
It's required. You have to have a phone number. Yeah. If you're a plumber dealing with emergency situations, you have to have a phone number.
That makes more sense.
If you're like a web design company, for example.
By the way, I'm inviting people to watch our episode. So if you ever want to be added to the invite list, let me know.
If you want to cheers way out here, you
cheers. That was kind of a weird cheers.
Let me give it.
No.
So I'm going to take a screen grab of that image and use that on the next promotion.
My pits are sweating, y'all. My pits are sweating.
So anyways, a web design company, maybe you don't need a phone number that it's an emergency. You need them to contact you back so you can start marketing or start building a website. So the next day is okay.
So it'd be kind of like, hey, I want to replace my deck. That's not really an emergency. But hey, I've got a leaking problem in my toilet's flooding. That's plumbing. That's a problem solution.
Phone number better be on there.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense.
So that's how I look at those pain solution type situations. You know, if I slip and fall, I need to be able to get to a chiropractor now and find out if they have availability.
Yeah. So here's the deal, guys. Okay, so first off, we've walked you through the first area of just the first 3 seconds to 5 seconds glance, right?
And we're how far in?
I'm
we're
not
20
too sure.
minutes in.
So here's the other part. No, it's not apology. So here's the other part. Within their 3 pages, they had little to no content, right? So what this means is they had I think it was less than 200 words on their homepage. They had less than 90 words on the Meet the Team page, less than 90 words on the contact page. So what happens is there with little to no content, the search engines don't know how to index them. So if you think of it from an end user perspective, we're already confused, right? And the images don't match. So if the images don't match the service that they're offering, the product that they're offering, all of a sudden the end user is confused. More than likely, in this case, they didn't have it done. The alt text in their images weren't filled out. Even if they were, it would not have been okay to hijack those alt texts with keywords for their industry when it was not even an image that matched the industry, right? So that's a key hint right there. Yep. So all of a sudden that wasn't there. So we knew looking at it that, hey, their SEO is way off track. They're lost in the whole.
So let me jump in there real quick. So Loveline asked, so above the fold needs to have city and be an H1 headline. The short answer on that is yes. So if you're doing above the fold, you've got a banner or a slider or something like that. That is probably going to be your H1, or you might have a line right below it. So you should have the city. If you're a niche service and you're dealing with a specific area, then you should put that city or that area within that niche and in that that H1 on that page. So, for example, if you're a chiropractor in Omaha, you should have chiropractor in Omaha in that particular thing, if that gets all the searches.
Yeah, so really
your keyword research and stuff will show you what phrase to put in there.
Yeah, and so since this new agenda, guys, if you tune in live, you can actually ask questions. We'll answer them on the spot, right? So really quickly, to help her go a little bit further, because she's the one that does the amazing tea towels we have in her kitchen, right, in the pillowcase. She's an awesome artist, guys. So Leveling, be sure to put your website down below, right? Since you've engaged as well as asked questions, go ahead and put it there for exposure. But in addition to that, so for her, she does have clients local, right? She actually has got her products put into some shops locally as well. But she also sells nationally and internationally. So with the H1 tag specifically, does it need to say the city she's in? Does it need to say the city and that she ships all through the US and internationally? Like, what would be the best blend where it doesn't get super confusing?
Sure. So it's going to depend who your target market is.
Okay.
If, let's say, 80% of your customers are in, and I'm going to use Omaha. Is she Omaha?
No, she's not.
Okay, so I'm going to use Omaha.
I think she's Texas. Leveling, are you in Texas? We're totally giving. This is your episode.
There you go.
This is your episode.
But if you're in Omaha or you're serving that Omaha metro market or something like that, then yes, I would add that to your thing. We're located in Omaha. We ship nationwide. Yeah. Something like that would be okay to do. And then if it's customized tea towels, I think it's the word
she does.
Use.
She draws amazing things all across the board. So it's not just tea towels. She has like a shop. She does clothing. She does paper. She does cards. She does tea towels. She does some other stuff that she's in the process of creating.
Kim's hands are way over here.
Hands are over there again. But she did have another question. Yes, she's in Texas. Thanks for confirming that. Cool. And then what's the other thing that she asked?
So we've got, I have text as image in the header. I'm an online shop. All right. So your text inside the image can't be read by Google. It can be read.
If it's built into the image through Photoshop or Muse or Adobe or any other kind of software.
Right. Yeah. If it's in the image, then it can't be read. But if it's over the image, so you've got your background image and then your website, you've got text that then sits over that image, that can be read by Google. And that's the recommended way to do it.
Correct. Does that make sense? Hopefully that makes sense.
Oh, look at this. I've got, please be gentle, Connor, because I just finished a revision last night.
Woo! Congratulations.
Good job finishing your revision. On that. And I'll try not to pull it. No, actually, you know what? I will pull it apart. Do you want me to just pull her up?
Did she put the thing?
No.
Oh, gosh.
She eeks. If you want me to bring up your website on the other screen, I won't share it up here on public. But if you want me to have a quick look, I can do that.
Yeah. So if you do.
Or we can do it offline so nobody else sees me pull it apart. But here's the thing. You know, when I say pull it apart or dig in, it's to help you, not to put you down, we are kind of gentle. We're just more direct, right? Like the thought process is, as a business, you want to ensure that you are taking the correct steps, but you sometimes Connor has made business owners cry, but it was because they were super cocky they had it figured out, and they cried once they saw the data, and they cried once they found the information behind the scenes to realize it wasn't working. Well, I think that after not that helped at all. Like, do you want to take another drink? I don't know. But if you've been doing it one way for the last 2 years, and I come in and tell you you've done it wrong for the last 2 years, you've spent all this money and it was wrong. Here's the way to do it, and you fix it, and within 30, 60 days, you're seeing the results. That's where that cry aspect comes in. It's sometimes I could see where you see that. From a business owner's perspective, that's not actually the case. It's the case of they're usually stuck in their ways. They want whatever they're doing to work, and then whenever they see the data behind it to realize it's not working, like that's the part that makes them cry. Okay. But I guess I make people cry. Sorry, people. No, it's cool. It's cool. Okay, so real quick, so back to this basic edit, right? Or this basic audit. They had little to no content, not really referencing the city that they were located, right? Not really referencing clearly what is it, the service that they're offering, right? Who is it that's going to help them? Yes, it said general cases of where they're at, right?
The other area in Standpoint, guys, is if you do an about page or if you do a team page, it's really important for you to not just do a generic resume bio. Take some time, and even if you have to contract out a freelance writer, have them write for you on your behalf. To the thing about the about page that I see a lot of businesses miss on is this is the best section for sales copy, where you can actually sell yourself to the max, right? So the homepage, you're going to have call to actions and conversions. Your about page should technically be that area and space of, if you want clarity, hire me, this is what I can do type of thing. But then also, it needs to be, I always help people, it needs to be from the language of they're already doing business with you. So you're already having the conversation of, you've already secured our services. Now let's go do A, B, and C. If you just take your bio from your resume, people are not going to spend time on that. I'm sorry, they're not going to spend time on that site. Nope. We actually have data to show that people won't, they click right out, like less than 3 seconds, right? But really quickly, the next thing from a technical aspect. So as you guys know, we work in WordPress quite a lot, right? It's a platform we love. We know how to code in anything and everything pretty much. There's some limitations just because we've been out of it so long, but we actually niched our business a couple years ago in WordPress specifically. And the main reason why we do WordPress is that we want our clients to be able to hold the keys to their castle. And what I mean by that is, yes, you can hire us and we can code and we can do custom code. We can do basic. Like, some people just don't have time. They hire us and they have us do their websites. It's super cool. It's a lot of fun.
Flip out these images, flip out text.
But the thing is we always wanted to sit in the seat, especially as being business owners ourselves, to give people the keys to the castle so they could do it themselves as they want to. Make a backup. Always, always, always make a backup of your website. Change is big, small. You can never have too many backups, right? But from this platform, this specific site actually was in a different platform. It's not a bad thing, but they were in a different platform. And so Connor, after I've done the visual aspect, or he does a visual aspect, we go really quickly into the behind the curtains and look at the structure. Yep. The main area why this business was not being ranked, had no online presence, was not to just mention the content situation scenario, right? Or the images situation scenario. It was because in the back area, there was actually a no follow or no index. No index.
So there's 2 areas, but essentially what they did was they told Google and Bing, do not put my website in the search engine results.
Yep.
So if you go to your website, whatever it is, .com/robots or OBOTS .txt. So it's robots.txt.
Yep.
In there, it'll have a line or it'll have something saying disallow or disallow : asterisk. If it's got that, or disallow : Google, then that's saying Google don't follow my website.
Yeah.
This particular website had that in there. So that's one area where you can check really quickly. The other one is inside of source code. So if you go into your website, right click anywhere on there, go down to view source code, or Control I for inspect element. Inside of that, there's 2 things you can search for. One is called no index, and the other one is no follow. Google has changed things within the last 2 weeks. They've changed it that they're considering the robots.txt file to be a suggestion rather than a directive. A directive meaning do this and whatever. Now they're considering it being a suggestion, where we would like you not to do this, but do whatever you want, Google, because you're awesome.
Hey, Google is awesome.
No, they are awesome. That's what I said. Do whatever you want because you're awesome. Did you sound that sarcastic? Is that what happened?
There was sarcasm there.
So anyway, inside of your source code, have a search just for no index or no follow. Those are now directives. And that tells Google, do not index this page.
Yeah.
There are certain pages that you don't want to have indexed. You don't want your shopping cart. You don't want your login page. You don't want your admin screen. Those should all be no index.
Wait, you don't want your shopping cart indexed?
No.
Why?
So the checkout page, you don't. I know.
It might have to be a separate situation.
The checkout page is what I'm talking about when I'm dealing with the shopping cart.
Okay, so now you like not the shop page of your cart,
right?
But the actual checkout.
The shop, the actual display of all your categories, all your products, those should be indexable. But the actual shopping cart,
yeah,
when you put stuff into the cart, that should be a no index. Okay. It has no value to be indexed inside of Google. So don't index it. You'll save what is it called? Anyway, we're going to move forward.
Yeah.
I can't remember what it's called.
So here's the deal. How people wind up getting into the no index, guys. This is kind of a theory that we feel like. So when we design websites, we actually put them on a personalized development server for ourselves, right? So little internal hack, if you are a designer yourself, this might be a good technique for you to do. But what we do is we have a totally separate web hosting account. We put sites that we're developing on that account until they're actually ready to go live, right? So what do you mean?
And then we password protect. We password protect the entire public HTML folder. This stops, no matter what, nobody can get in without a password. This stops anybody from spying as to what you might be doing. It stops the search engines from accidentally crawling through your website. I know we're putting directives in there to say, please don't index, but places like Yandex, which is a search engine out of Russia, or Baidu, which is out of China, they don't adhere to those rules. So putting a password protection on there stops your website 100%. Nobody can get into it.
So the thought process and the reason why we do this is, say that we're building content. We don't want that dev site to be indexed in Google before our actual client's new website is, right? But the other reason why we do this is that the client's live site can stay up while it's being developed. So there's no under construction. There's no kink in the flow of actual current online presence, if that makes sense. I think sometimes what happens, especially if people are designing their website themselves, they actually design within the live environment. And then therefore, sometimes they'll go out on a forum or something like that to say, hey, how do I not show this part of my website? And what they don't realize is they actually just hid their whole entire website, because there's not specifically a way to just hide one aspect inside of a site.
Yeah, a lot of people, when they're developing your website, you'll put Yoast into your website for WordPress, for example, and that helps search engines understand pages, and you should have that in there. But inside the settings, there's a checkbox when you're first setting it up that says, don't allow search engines to index the website. And when you check that, it automatically then puts in the directive no index. And that's good.
Yeah.
Except when you don't remember that you did that and you went live, and it's been live for several months, and come to find out that nobody can actually find your website because you told them not to look for my website. But
Right. Yeah. So really quickly, guys, we're coming up here on time. I'm trying to think what else we got from this. What I would say is, on your website, ensure that you're actually communicating what it is that you offer and what it is that you do. Make sure that the images match, right? This site actually had pretty good loading time, so we can't really say it was speed, right?
Right. But if possible, the images that you put on there, if they cannot be stock images.
Correct.
Use some of your own, sprinkle them in. Go ahead and sprinkle some stock ones in.
Yeah.
But if you can use your own, it does carry more of an impact for the user and for search engines. They're paying attention there.
Yeah. And the other thing too is just ensure that you have an easy flow area for people to get into contact with you. So again, phone number and or on the contact information. Lovely, and we were able to pull up your website. So if you want us to take like 3 to 5 minutes to review this right now, just put a comment below. If not, we can talk offsite. I was able to find it. It looks really good.
Looks nice.
Yeah.
I like
nice
it.
Nice and clean.
See, I can be a nice person.
Connor's like, see, I can be nice. Yeah. So other than that, guys, what we're going to do with the agendas is we're actually, every week we have a different layout and a different flow, right? We wanted to do this to ensure that we could touch on multiple different stuff, but then also that we're very organized ourselves internally. It helps this guy. He doesn't stress out as much. Because me, I just fly by the seat of my pants all the time.
I get the information 24 hours a day. Here's what we're going to talk about.
Or
24 hours before we launch, or it's an hour before we launch. Here's what we're going to talk about.
Yeah.
And or sometimes I don't even get that heads up, but hey, But now with the structured setup where I'm able to plan things a little bit better and able to do customized photos with you.
Yeah, customized photos with me. But what I will say is next week I actually will be traveling. So this guy is going to go rogue and do the Facebook Live himself.
I'm out of whiskey. I can't tell you what I'm going to do.
So next week, he's going to be covering some tidbits that will help you with your SEO as well as growing your online presence. It's going to be more of a technical aspect area of it
You don't want to join?
versus a high level. I'm actually going to be in California.
Yeah, but you don't want to join?
I don't know if I'm going to be available to join when I'm in California. I'm going to be in a conference.
And I'm not going to be golfing, I guess.
But either way.
Maybe I will. Maybe I will do the entire live video from the golf course.
I know, right? Okay, so it looks like we have another question. Can you refresh your thing?
I can't refresh my thing.
Okay, so Loveline, she said, yes, please. So we'll do a quick review. Will you do something on Search Console?
Yes.
Dun, dun, dun. Good question.
It is on my list of things to cover on a YouTube video and dig into the areas that you should be looking at. So I will do something on the Search Console.
Yeah. Okay, so really quickly rolling through here, I will give my tidbits and then you can give your tidbits. Does that sound
good? Do I get the computer here and then pull apart the code? No.
Can
I tell you to do things?
No. You're good. Okay,
all right,
so
here we go.
Loveline, a couple things. One, the website is really, really clean. I love the fact that you offered multiple different areas for white space as well as space in general, right? Mm-hmm. Sometimes what can happen is people just put words everywhere, which way. The other thing that you did really good was utilizing the bold aspects for specific areas that you wanted. So example, down by the bottom where you have your accent pillows, you were able to highlight bold, quick delivery, handwritten note, feel good packaging, right? So it's cool that my name's down there. I just now noticed that. I'm now famous, more famous than I was before. But I absolutely love that. In addition to it, I love the fact that you broke out and you're highlighting the different products that you actually have. So there's areas for the tea towels, there's areas for the pillows, scarves, and so forth. Really clean. One thing that go ahead.
Sorry, keep going.
Yeah. So one thing I will say is whenever I first loaded your website, I know that the intention was for you to be able to communicate that you offer free shipping for domestic orders over $100 and that the shop link is actually in a different button so it pops off and it can get there. Unfortunately, I'm not sure what capability you have in this, but you're using a lot of the above the fold real estate with white space that actually needs to not be used like that. Mm-hmm. So thought process really quick, I'm going to use my hands, is
go try to get them in the screen.
Right. So you have your logo and your menu nav. As a side note, I would see if you can make the color of the menu nav items the same color as the font down below. It looks like it's actually a shade a little bit lighter than that gray. And the reason for this is it actually kind of disappears a little bit, and you don't want your menu navigation to disappear. I do see that when you highlight over it, it turns green. That's super cool. That's actually, that helps people see and understand. My law of order, pretty much everything is capitalized, but the N and the touch, the I and the T are not capitalized. So I would capitalize those.
And the same with login?
No, so the log is capitalized, the I is as well. Again, this is like a visual thing. So a lot of people don't realize business owners pay a lot of attention to how much care do you put into your website, and just those small little things can make a difference. So within your free shipping, and depending on what your feature and functionality is, if you can get it to be one long line, right, with the button, and the button could be bigger, that would be ideal. So there's not so much padding at the top or at the bottom, because what I want is whenever I load my laptop, I want to see this piece that you're wearing. So this image down here, I personally want to see you, and I want to see what this font is.
And that H tag.
And so the lifestyle pieces that celebrate your essence, like that's classified as your H1 tag. So if, I'm not sure, I think she said it was inside the image, as in it was built in the image.
Not in the image. It's actually it's a parallax scrolling. So the image stays in one spot and then the text scrolls up over it. So that text is actually, if you right click on the text, it should be viewable.
It's not.
Well, that's because right click is disabled on the website, which I hate.
Yeah. So anyway,
I understand people want to save their images, but there's always a way of screen grabbing. So I would disable the disable right click, because I can when I navigate a website, I want to open up multiple tabs.
Yeah.
And I use that right click to go into the shop and the warehouse at the same time. So
she says, yes, it's an image too.
Oh, it's an image also. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, if that can be made into text that floats over the image,
and
that would be better.
It does look like it's a pretty fancy font, so that may not be it might not have the ability. Worst case, just make sure your alt text for that image says what's over the image, right? So your image alt text would say lifestyle pieces that celebrate your essence by Loveline, right? So make sure that you put your name and start marketing your name of who you are, right? So you have copyrights. But yeah, so and what I can try to do is I can try and screen capture what this is, but I get the importance of wanting to do the shipping because that makes sense, right? I'm not sure if maybe that message needs to go below your image, because me holding it, I don't even know if I can do this. Me holding it, this is what I want to see. Do you see that?
That's good.
That
right
when I load
sideways. Oh. Don't go head on. It's got to be sideways.
When I load this website, I'm trying to like still be in the screen. When I load this website, this is what I want to see. Right? This is what makes the biggest impact. One, you're already in it, right? Your product that you're making is inside of it. Your messaging is inside of it. Go a little bit darker with the menu nav. I get the shipping though. So again, you decide what you want to do. Worst case, you could actually put the shipping message below that main intro image.
The other thing that's real popular on e-commerce websites, above your navigation at the very top, just a little bar up there that says we offer free shipping, $100, whatever it happens to be. So
yeah. Okay, and then so the other part too.
Love the green colors in there.
The green's really good. Really good.
Lots of different fonts.
Yeah,
so that's okay.
But the font, like for her though, like here's where the fonts work to your ability. You're very creative and everything you build is unique. So multiple different fonts is actually not a bad thing. The area where you have to make sure that you connect the dots is that you don't just use one font in one section and that's all you do. You'll confuse end users. So, but you did really beautiful with all of it. I love the fact that you have so many areas to be able to get people into the shop. And I personally love that you have shop I'm playful or shop I'm beauty type of thing. So you've actually broken up the categories, kind of like if somebody walks into the grocery store and they want fruit, they're not going to go into the ice cream aisle unless they want ice cream with their fruit, right? I think that's really, really good to be able to, I know it was really weird, guys, just roll with me. And then I love the fact that you actually did an intro of you, right? This is really, really important, talking about you and who you are, especially you as an artist, but also you as the business owner too, right? That's really cool. And then the 12 random things about me. You nailed this, girlfriend.
Yeah,
you got it.
I think you did good. The things that I would change.
Yeah.
Can you scroll up again to the 12 things about me?
Yeah. Go on up.
So the part where I have a little issue on it is that on Kim's laptop, and you're using, I don't know what dimensions you're at.
I don't know.
Probably the 1200 dimension or 1440.
Y'all saw my laptop. That's about as big as it is.
So the item that I have a concern with is that it doesn't fit within the one scroll. You've actually got to keep scrolling to see everything within it, rather than it just all taking one part of the screen.
Yeah.
That would be the only item with regards to that I would change. Maybe adding some links within there. So where you're talking about the meditation or creativity end of things, maybe you could highlight the word creativity and link that off to another section of your website. So little things like that, just a couple of extra links in there might be something to do. If you click on the shop scarves there, for example, what happens?
So she goes right into the category of her
directly
scarves.
into the scarves.
Yeah,
that's all good.
So really quickly, we did just go into that. So check your images to see what size your actual images are. We just loaded
file size.
Yeah, file size. We just loaded the scarves page, and the third scarf image took a bit. It took like 3 seconds to load. So it could be our internet, who knows? But just check it out and see.
Can you scroll down that?
Yeah.
So we're just looking at the individual product right now. So you've got nice big image. You've got 4 other styles of images underneath it. You've got tons of content. Awesome.
Yeah.
Because everybody forgets that part. So you've done really well with
and
that.
Here's a little, just to toot her horn a little bit further. The thing that I love that she does is that she explains in all of her art pieces, she explains the process that she went through as well as the creation, like what was in the essence of it.
And there's a story there.
Yep.
The only thing from a consumer end, maybe putting each of those text things into separate tabs so that it's not a wall of text. But I like that you have all that text on there. It makes that part easy.
The other part, too, is the text in the actual product area. It looks pretty small compared to what's on the homepage. This text size is a lot smaller than...
Yeah, but I wouldn't change that, though.
Okay. Cool.
Scroll down there. Keep going. All right. So
it's a huge add to cart button.
The add to cart is huge. The privacy and the disclaimer buttons, they're huge. I understand wanting to push that, hey, these are private things, or here's my disclaimer. Make those text smaller. They're not something that people need to click on a regular basis.
And she did mention that she's in Weebly, so there might be some limitations there. But it's good though.
The other item on the shopping cart, and I've dealt with this on a couple other websites. We actually just did an e-commerce site recently that had this. With the particular product item, you've got the price at the very top of the page. But when I get down to the bottom and I want to add it to the cart and I see 2 available, I don't know what the price is anymore. I forgot.
Yeah.
So if there's a way of duplicating that price a second time right beside that add to cart button, that would be awesome. It's not available in every shopping cart, so you'll have to check your settings in your site. But making sure that price is available in both spots, that would be something that I would like to see. Can you go back to the other page?
The shopping.
Because I wasn't done on there.
That was his.
So we've got the one quantity. Go ahead and add to cart with that.
Connor's buying me a gift.
I am. Awesome. So at the top of the page, once you add to cart, the little cart number at the top navigation now has a number 1 beside it.
The cart.
Well, it did. It added it to the cart, but it didn't go to the next step of checkout.
Is there a way, Loveline, to have other similar products load in Weebly?
Yeah, having an option.
Because I added it to the
bottom.
cart. So here was the disconnection. And I know it's normal in shopping carts, but I added it to the cart. And then I was like, what do I do next? All I see is add to the cart and then disclaimer policy. So is there a way to add even if there's
it's a limitation.
Okay.
I wouldn't doubt it. You know, one of the things, and I've custom coded this for other websites, when you add to a cart, then it automatically has a button beside it that says check out now. And that allows somebody to then check out. But
the other part too is could she possibly do a third button down below, back to shop, or in the footer, like shop now?
Yeah, I think probably at the bottom there needs to be a way to get back to the scarves or getting back to other similar products. So maybe you can add some text down there at the bottom or something like that.
It's like a text, or it's very common in websites now to have the little back to the top of the website button in the right-hand corner. So it'd shoot somebody all the way back up versus them having to scroll.
Yep. But I do like the add to cart there. You've got breadcrumbs in there, and that's all good. That's your navigation at the top. You had said, okay, you'll check about the tabs, but they're not possible in Weebly, and that's fine.
Yeah. I mean, here's the deal is like you've laid it out quite well. Really quick, I want to give you kudos for Shop by Essence. That's a really cool thing that you've got. Good.
And the enjoy, that banner at the top, the enjoy domestic shipping.
Yeah, and even if you could,
anything. You've done awesome.
Yeah, so I was going to say, even if that enjoy free shipping, if you could get that banner on the homepage instead of her having the verbiage, if again just it depends on limitation. The green line at the top, and then her image is inside there.
Yep.
But yeah, it looks really, really good. So just see if you have the ability in your menu navigation to darken that gray just a smidge. The start shopping area, see if there's any ability to move that around.
If you go to cart, what happens?
Yeah.
All right, so it just pops up from the side, and you go to checkout. What happens there?
Takes your money.
It takes my money.
Takes your money.
Kim has her credit card stored already, doesn't she? Yeah. She probably does.
She's got good stuff, man. She's got good stuff.
And you have the ability to add to quantity, which is awesome. Can you turn that to me here a little bit on the bottom? What have we got over there? So you got continue shopping, scroll up.
Yep.
add a coupon code. Awesome.
For all y'all that are tuning in just now, we're actually doing a live on the fly audit with the beautiful Loveline. So if you got questions, let us know.
Yeah. Can you go back? Okay. Yeah. No, I think what you've got in there and how you've got it, the store accept PayPal, that's fine. That drop down for the about is interesting, that it drops down the navigation. You've got to click it, then you see the navigation, and then there's another drop down below that, and that drops it even further.
It's kind of cool though, because it covers the whole thing.
I'm not against it.
It's different. It's very, very unique.
It is different. So
yeah.
But overall, I think you've done an awesome job. We would have to look at the back end, which Kim doesn't want to give me her computer because, you know.
If you want a back end, we actually offer the back end audit, a simple one for $79. So hit us up if you want us to dig a little deeper. Yeah. So far on the surface, though, girlfriend, you're doing really, really well.
Is there a copyright?
A couple, yeah, there is. A couple different areas to edit and change. But other than that, it's clean. Down at the bottom real quick, something that I would say is there's a contact form, right? So it makes sense. It's 50-50 columns. So you've got your message on the left and then you've got your contact form on the right.
Is that a contact form? Because it looks like it possibly is a newsletter sign up. There's an I want in.
So it says, hello, hey, beautiful. Are you ready to embody and celebrate your essence?
If you say it loud enough, everybody else can hear you.
It says special orders. So this is a newsletter.
It's a newsletter sign up. Yep. So it should have a heading there of some sort saying newsletter sign up or enroll in or get free specials, something like that grabs my attention.
Yeah, because I thought at first it was a contact form.
Yeah. And even for that matter, I would take that, throw that into your footer. I would make your privacy and your disclaimer, make them into text, put that under your copyright, and the right-hand side, make that sign up for my newsletter.
Yeah, if it does. I don't know
if it has that ability.
But that's a way to kind of button that up just a little bit. Yep. But it's great. You did excellent job.
I have no major complaints about the website. See, I hope you're not crying.
He wants to make sure that everybody knows that he does not make people cry.
I'm not a mean guy, I promise.
He's not a mean guy. So other than that, it looks really, really great. So just see if you can button up those areas. The inside pages, the font's really small, though.
Yeah, like on the wholesale, you've got some issues there with the title in the green bar, the padding at the top versus at the bottom of that text. It's a little bit different.
Get in touch is small, too.
Yeah, I mean, you might have to increase the text font size just a little bit within the page. Yeah. Recommended to make your text minimum of 16 pixels or 18 pixels if it's a smaller website.
Yeah.
Anything smaller than 16 is hard to read. And we haven't even looked at this on a mobile phone.
Yeah.
So that's a separate thing altogether we would have to check. So, but yeah, short version of a website audit. There you go.
If you found benefit, feel free to recommend Big Red SEO on Facebook because they don't allow reviews anymore.
Yeah, you got to do recommendations, or on Google, you got to do the
Google reviews.
But anyway, we're coming up to 1 hour.
Yeah, 1 hour. Thank you so much for tuning in, Lovely, and thank you for letting us dive into your website. Hopefully you guys got value not only from us reviewing hers. The link is actually in the comments. Be sure to check out her products. She's got really good products for all y'all that are deep into your intuition. Get them. She infuses energy and love and intentions. It's amazing. But in addition to that, hopefully everything else we covered would help you be able to take your website to the next level. If you have questions, feel free to reach out. We actually have some space in October to be able to work with some mission-driven businesses, whether it's website design, pay-per-click, or SEO. We can do the services for you, or we can teach you. So we are onboarding projects for those months specifically. In addition to all of that, we do appreciate you tuning in. Make sure that you follow Big Red SEO.
We got to do that.
Yeah, this is Connor's part. Make sure you follow us on Facebook. If you're not already liking our page, do that. If you found value of this, comment below. Let us know, guys. Like, that's the thing about all of this that we're building is for you. So be sure to tune in and engage. And then if you were not able to tune in live, there will be a replay, which he's going to edit on YouTube. It will be down below in our Facebook as well. But if you want the behind scenes version, go check out YouTube. It's really cool.
And for that matter, our newsletter, go to our website, sign up for the newsletter.
It's rolling out soon.
You'll get a copy of
it's rolling out
the
soon.
Links out to YouTube and all the other stuff that's
we've got
going
some
on.
cool stuff that we are birthing that's coming out, and it's amazing. And
we are birthing and coming out.
Yes, it's like birthing and coming out. It's the creativity of how to be able to help and serve a little bit further. So
all right,
in the meantime, guys, have a great weekend, and we appreciate you as well as your time, especially if you made it to the end of our whiskey and coffee website audit.
Whiskey empty. I gotta go get more whiskey and a cigar and kick back for 20 minutes and decompress.
All right, guys. See you next time. Have a great weekend.
All right, guys. Have a good one.
Bye-bye.
Now. Thank you.